Hello and welcome to our first quarter moon video. So in this video, obviously we're going to be checking out what the first quarter moon phase means and how we can work with it. So let's get started. So this video is going to cover what first quarter moon symbolizes, how it occurs, and how to use the energies. So let's jump right into the first slide. So what does the first quarter moon symbolize? So a first quarter moon is the first point, one of the major points in the moon cycle. So I've talked previously in other videos about the 4 quarters, so the new moon, the first quarter, the full moon, and the last quarter being the sort of turning points, the points where we shift a gear almost. And this is the first following a new moon where we start to shift gears. So we've been spending time setting intentions, visualizing those intentions, building up the internal energy needed for us to now start taking action. This is a commitment point. So this first quarter moon is going to ask you to get really focused on moving forward. So whatever it is that you've been asking for, what actions can you start now to take? Are you noticing little signs from the universe that are pointing you in the right direction? Are you then following up those little nudges, or are you still sitting kind of waiting for things to just fall in your lap? One of the biggest misconceptions with the law of attraction and manifesting as a whole is this idea that it's all the universe's sort of job, and it's not. What it is a co-creation. So we need to be meeting the universe halfway, and that's where our aligned actions come in. Are we taking the right actions towards the goal that we want, or are we sort of sabotaging ourselves in a little way? Are we doing things that we know are going to put us backwards or get in the way, or procrastinating in some way? So this is really asking you to commit to those intentions and really go for them. One of the other things, we're going to get into this a little bit more on the next slide, but a first quarter moon kind of throws us a couple of challenges. So it can sort of throw a hurdle in our way that we need to jump. This is the universe's way of making sure that we are committed, that a hurdle isn't going to deter us or make us give up, that we're still absolutely focused on that intention. So whatever challenges are coming your way during this period, they are being sent to you for sort of an affirmation to the universe that we are still going after what we want. So again, as well, I've put on their point of balance, because this is sort of the half and half moment. This is the absolute midway point between the new moon and the full moon. So we're halfway there. We're halfway there on the waning, the waxing side of the moon cycle, the building side, the action taking side. So we're getting there with that. So let's look at how the first quarter moon occurs. So we talked about the new moon being the sun and the moon and the earth in alignment. They start to separate during the waxing crescent phase, and eventually they form a 90-degree aspect, which is known as a square. And squares are often known as a challenge, a little bit of tension. Think of the term squaring off, squaring up to. This is what the planets are doing. They're sort of squaring up to each other, vying for some attention, or some sort of energy that needs to be listened to and taken care of. So this is where we get our challenges from, because we're in a square aspect from the sun and the moon. And I've talked previously about the sun representing us, our ego, our self, our sense of self, and the moon being our internal world, our emotions, our feelings. And these two parts of ourselves are now at tension with one another. This is where we might get those hurdles, that feeling of wanting to give up, maybe, of feeling like things are too hard. And it is these sorts of things that we have to overcome in order to push forward into our manifestations, in order to get to where we want to be once the full moon arrives at the peak of the month. So let's now just move on to the next slide, which is, we've talked a little bit about this already. So how to use the energy of the first quarter moon. So this is commitment time, for sure, commitment time. As we move into the next phase, so the week between where we are now at the first quarter moon and where we're going to be at the full moon in a week's time, we're going to need to be taking bigger and bigger actions. We're building energy. The moon is getting brighter and brighter in the sky, giving us more energy. It's giving us more momentum to work towards things. So we need to be taking these big actions. Whatever the universe is throwing your way, whatever opportunities are starting to move your way, you should be taking them on at this point. This is definitely a moment of really going full motion, full gear, full energy towards what it is that we want. So while we're doing that, we will be working towards our manifestations and getting ready for our full moon celebrations at this point, or sort of this point, in a week's time. So that's all we've got for our first quarter moon. So I hope you've enjoyed this little instructional video, and thank you for joining me here, and I will see you next time. Our next video will be the waxing gibbous moon. Yeah, the waxing gibbous moon. So I will see you then. Thank you. Bye.